Hey, have you seen this painter's color diary for watercolor? This book I saw on several artists' YouTube channels, and I was immediately drawn to getting one of these. I will have the link in the description down below. So, as you can see on the front, they have different swatch boxes for you to draw with watercolor pencil or any water-based medium into these little swatch boxes, and you can blend and mix and have a whole booklet just for your watercolor mediums. And when you open this up, this is like a spiral bound, so you're able to flip the pages really good. It's a 9x12 and it's a nice durable booklet. So this cold press 100% cotton paper that's inside is such good quality, and I've been painting in watercolors for about 45 years now, and I say this is good quality. So immediately you see this glassine slip sheet that is in between each of these pages, and you can see the texture right here as I'm holding it up to the camera. Nice quality cold press. So they have a line up here at the top so you can have a heading and subheads so you can label each one of these rows, each one of these color swatches, however you please. So you can see just from the sound that this paper is really thick. And as I was painting through here, I didn't notice any buckling on any of the paper. It stayed really flat for me. So that was impressive in itself. So each one of these glassine pages can be removed, as well as each one of these pages can come out, which I thought was really cool. So you can see that each one of these little tabs lifts out of the spiral, and yet it goes back in just as easy as it comes out. So I think that is one of the superb features of this swatching book. Now, as I go through this video, I'm going to show you how I am going to use it. This is part one of two parts. The next video will be part two, and then I'll further show you how I'm going to use this watercolor painter's diary. And for me, I think this layout and this setup is super helpful for me, especially the way I paint and how I grab color versus swatching in my sketchbook. Now, don't get me wrong, the sketchbook does have its place, especially for mixing colors that you're going to be working on for a specific project. But for actual pure color out of the bottle like this, it is very helpful to be able to pull pages out individually and work like this. And as I go along, I will show you why. All right, so I'm using a 1/4 inch flat brush. It's just a general flat brush that I've had for a very long time. When you're doing this, I don't think it matters really the size, as long as it's a size you're comfortable with. These boxes, I would say, are, let me see here. I would say they're about 1 inch by 2 inches, 1 inch by 1 3/4 inches in size. So have one that you're comfortable with. And so using this swatch book, the way I'm going to be doing it, I'm going to be grabbing, I started with my gel pen because I've been using that a lot lately, and I decided better of it because I know that when I add water to that gel pen, it's going to burst. So I'm grabbing this Sharpie Fine marker because I know that'll be permanent, so if the water hits it, it won't bleed on me. And it feels really good in my hand, and I can write real nice with it. All right, so using our Dr. P.H. Martin's liquid radiant concentrated watercolors, that's what I'm going to be doing for this whole tutorial today. So at the very top, I'm writing out my header. So I'm using the Dr. P.H. Martin's and writing out the full information. These are dropper bottles, and so I'm making sure that I write that down. Have you ever used Dr. P.H. Martin's watercolors before? If you haven't, I highly recommend them. These little guys, the bottles may be small, but they are, when they say they're radiant, honestly, believe me, they are radiant. You will see as we swatch these out how bright and bold they are, and I highly recommend them. And you can use them just like you would with any watercolor paper or illustration board. Now, Dr. P.H. Martin's comes in 56 unique colors. Now, I'm not an affiliate, I just absolutely love them. So I'm going to start with set A, the first 14 colors offered. They are lemon yellow, orange, persimmon, alpine rose, scarlet, red cherry, moss rose, turquoise blue, true blue, violet, grass green, juniper green, saddle brown, and black. So you can see on the left-hand side, I have the color name and number, and I have it bracketed off as set A. Now, because there are 4 sets, A, B, C, and D, I'm going to do this with each 2 of the rows. So every 2 rows will be a new set. So I'm writing down the letters. Obviously, I've got 1A is lemon yellow, 2A is orange, 3A is persimmon, 4A is alpine rose, and so on. So I'm going to do that for the entire set of 14 colors. And so that way, if I have to go reorder one, or I want a whole new set, or I'm really loving a certain color and it matches with something, I can recommend the name and number, or I can reorder a la carte these individual bottles. So one of the drawbacks for the Dr. P.H. Martin's is the pigment settles, and it settles fast. So however long these were setting, and they were laying on their backs, so the pigment had settled on its back. So you will have to do a maraca, shaky to get all of it reincorporated, to make sure that you're getting the accurate 100% local color that you're expecting to get. So using the dropper, I kind of drag and drop the liquid on the left-hand side panel, that little rectangle on the left-hand side. I dropped that on there, and then I took my flat brush and I was trying to do an ombre effect on this so I can see how every color transitioned. So you can see on this one, I kind of have almost like a solid light yellow area when I was looking more for a transition from dark to light. So I'm going to try again on this one, on the next one. This is the orange, the 2A. So I just put a little bit out, and I am going to first fill in this box so I can make sure that I have enough of the watercolor to fill in this box, because this is 100% color out of the bottle on that left-hand panel. Now the rest of this is going to be blended out from hopefully 100% down to maybe a 10%. So I'll go have a transition of the local color down to a tint. So a little bit better on this one, but as I go along, you'll see that I'm getting better and better at transitioning. Some of the colors, like this persimmon, needs to be shaken up. You can see it just, I had to clip it a little bit, but I shook this one up for quite a bit. But this persimmon is very bold and strong versus some of the other colors that are pretty light. But this one, I didn't need as much of the pigment as I put down on the paper. So I'll have to wipe off some of it as I go so I can make sure that I can transition nicely. I'm finding that adding a little bit of water as I go helps produce that nice soft blend out that I was looking for. And this third swatch was definitely more successful than the first two. Also finding that this little 1/4-inch flat brush really does the job for this. That was the perfect size. So this is what I have done so far, and I'm really, again, really liking this paper. And as I'm working, I have some ideas for what I'm going to do next, because as you'll see as we go, the colors given in each of the 4 sets are somewhat in a collection. So this first set, A, is, I would consider, a bold collection. They're very bold and bright colors. A lot of them are like jewel tone colors. And so they're not necessarily in like color wheel order. So at the end, I will explain to you what I'm going to do for part 2. So using the color dropper, make sure that even though if you haven't used it in a while or you haven't ever used the paint yet, make sure that dropper is screwed on really tight, because I'm a slob and when it comes to my painting, and yeah, so splatter everywhere. So that wasn't a very good time, but what are you gonna do, right? You can't do anything about it. So these colors, like I was saying in the beginning, they are so bold and so strong and super intense. And with having said that, these guys are, I would consider them staining. They do, if they do get on your hands, they will come off, but after a while, with a lot of scrubbing, the pigment in them is very intense and bold. But I wouldn't say that they're completely lifting. They're somewhere between a lifting and not lifting. That makes sense. If I was to put gouache over the top of this paint right now, I would be able to see, with a gentle scrubbing with the brush, I would be able to see some of the watercolor, the concentrate watercolor, come through. Now, if I was to blend with a paintbrush just this watercolor as it's dried on the paper as is, I'll be able to pull some off, but not 100%. So I guess more like your fine watercolors, that would kind of be what it would be like. I think the Hydrus Dr. Martens are the ones that are completely non-lifting, but I've never used those, so I cannot say for sure. If somebody wants to mention something in the comments about it, that would be great. I've never used the Hydrus line before. I've only used these, so I can only speak on what I know. But these are amazing. I honestly, I can't say enough about them. But again, this set is like a jewel tone set. The next set is more, I would like say, would be like a botanical set, like a woodsy forest set. But we can get to that after. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. All right, so you can see that there's a lot of colors that are similar in value. So if you squint your eyes looking at these swatches, you'll be able to see a lot of them are similar and don't jump right out at you. But the high end of the like the tint value would be the yellow, and then the shade value would be the black. So a lot of these colors are similar in value, and that's okay, because some of these colors can get pretty light, and you can mix other colors together to get pretty dark. So I've got this pretty dry right now, and you can see that there is no warping, no buckling of the paper. It is really super flat. And as I lift the page up, I'm checking the back, and it didn't even bleed through. It didn't even warp on the back side. So I have set D next, and I ordered set B and C. At this point, when I shot the video, B and C hadn't come in yet, but they were due to come in that night or the next day. So because I already had set A and D, I decided to do those. So I'm going to jump ahead to get set D started because I had that ready for the video. So this is set D. So I skipped 4 lines for set B and C, and set D includes sunshine yellow, sunset orange, sunset red, sunrise pink, Tahiti red, fuchsia, raspberry, ice green, ice blue, peacock blue, iris blue, Indian yellow, tiger yellow, and coffee brown. So, not unlike the first set, set A, this set also has a theme to it. This set, as you'll notice, has a lot of what I would consider tropical florals. They're almost highlighter-esque, some of the colors. And I think this set is great for painting beach scenes, beautiful florals, anything tropical, and like a lot of the names say, sunsets or sunrises. So I'm going to let you watch the swatching a little bit. I have it sped up just a little bit, so hopefully you won't get bored. But I'm going to let you watch this, and then I will jump back in at the end of the set. So as we near the end of set D, you can see a lot of these colors are truly tropical in nature and bright and fresh looking. Now, 46D and 47D, Sunrise Pink and Tahiti Red, they're similar in nature, and I think they look even more similar on camera. However, the Tahiti Red has a little bit more of an orangey tint to it, and the Sunrise Pink has a little bit more of the red pinky to it. So there is a little bit of a difference, not much, but they each have their own place, and both beautiful, and they would make great floral paintings for sure. Again, I will have the links to each of these sets below in the description. So after comparing set A and set D, I did get a package in the post, and it was set B. So set B came in later that afternoon, and you'll see that the next day is when the set C came in. So this set came with this sweet Daisy in the Sun tutorial that you can follow along with and use the colors in the set. So if anybody purchases and finds one of these cute little tutorials in it, I would be so interested to hear how it turned out. Okay, another set to look at, and again, I've used these watercolors for 35 years now, and I've always purchased them a la carte. So having the full complete sets were something new to me, because I always picked the colors that I liked, not necessarily the colors that I needed for the project. So having all 56 colors by the end was something very special for me. And I have no doubt with the ideas that I have that I will be using them all this year at some point. So because this is set B, I'm going to flip back in the painter's diary, and right underneath set A, I have set B sectioned out. So you can see the next two rows under set A is preset for set B. All right, so set B comes with daffodil, yellow, amber yellow, tangerine, crimson, wild rose, cyclamen, ultra blue, slate blue, April green, moss green, olive green, golden brown, mahogany, and sepia. So when I look at the colors as a whole, these colors, when I have them swatched out, they almost look like deep colors of the old Wild West. A lot of earthy greens and the mahoganies and the crimsons, tangerines. They're all gorgeous colors. And again, still kind of carry along with the theme of the color set. Now, I don't know if Dr. P.H. Martin's truly intended on this as their way of thinking. I'm sure that they have rhyme and reason for the collections. This is just my opinion on what the colors look like to me and how I could use them in my illustrations. So you might have a different perspective on what each color set looks like to you, and that would be really interesting to have a conversation about as well. So I am going to let you watch me swatch as well, and I have it sped up. So I will catch you at the end of this set. So we're nearing the end of this set, and you can see this mahogany color is absolutely gorgeous. And this is like a saddle color or color of horses. And you can see why I think that this is like the old Wild West color set. This slate blue looks denim. The tangerines are like poppy colors or meadow flowers. That green, that olive green, the blues of the sky, big sky, Montana. Yeah, this set is beautiful. So I am gonna let this dry just a little bit and wait for set C to come in. So the top row of this page and the bottom row of this page are reserved for set C when they come in. Now to bide some time, because we're artists and we can't just leave things and let things still. I can't just put this away. I want to play with them. So what I'm doing in the next few rows is I'm mixing colors together just to see what they look like, how they mix. Some are granulating a little bit and some are super smooth. Some are really staining and other ones blend nicely. So how did I select my colors for this? All right, this is funny. I closed my eyes, and out of all three sets that I had in front of me that are off camera, I closed my eyes and I just grabbed one random one with my left hand and one random one with my right hand. And whatever two I had in my hand, those were the ones I was gonna mix. Even if I didn't think they looked well together, I forced myself to mix them just to see what colors I got. Because if I was to pick them out purposefully, I wouldn't have picked these colors together, and therefore I wouldn't be growing, right? I want to make sure that I'm experimenting and exploring and not being purposeful about it. So I wanted to see what interesting color combinations I can get. So that's what I'm doing with these, just randomly picking up two different colors, mixing them together, and see what I get. Well, that was fun. That was really fun. I told myself I wasn't allowed to put them back if I didn't like them or didn't want them together. I see a lot of greens mixed together and also a lot of dark colors, which are always a frustration when you're trying to get a real rich dark. Aha, now I see that I have some nice darks. And this red is so bright and bold. It's very fire engine-y. Looks similar to these, but not this. So that was fun. It's almost like the pink and the orange together really made that fiery. These two colors mixed really well together. The greens are similar, but not quite the same. So that was a really fun exercise. And of course, I can't stop myself. I have to do some more playing. and take advantage of the time while I was waiting for the third set to come in, or the fourth set to come in. So I have the camera panned out a little bit so you can see the sets in front of me. So as I grabbed them and I mixed them, I put the colors aside so I wasn't reusing the same color, and that way I was able to get a good reach, a good mix of all these colors, and really be able to play and see what colors I can get. Now these colors are fully mixable with everyday watercolors. Typically I use them with my Winsor Newtons, and I've also used them with Daniel Smith, but further than that I have not experimented with any other watercolor brand but those two, and they work really well with gouache as well. So grabbing the two colors, making the little box squares of the original local color, then mixing them together. I encourage you to do this. This is so much fun because the element of magic is in the surprise of what colors you get when you mix two random colors together, like that black and the red. Mixing those together to get like a real deep burgundy. What a fun little experiment. And it just these colors just are so bold and so strong that you can pretty much mix anything together and it'll hold the color. Yay, it's the next morning and the doorbell rang, so look what I got. Set C. And because it's still cold here in Western New York, these bottles were really super cold, so they frosted over just a little bit. All right, set C has tapestry, pumpkin, burnt orange, hyacinth, Norway blue, chartreuse, jungle green, tobacco brown, ice pink, tropic gold, tropic pink, ice yellow, calypso green, and antelope brown. These color names are so much fun. I love them so much. So going back to the first page where I left that last bottom line open for set C, we're going to start with the first row and swatch that in, and then when that dries a little bit I'll flip the page and swatch the top line of the second page. So I'll let you watch this one. So what do you think about this set? There's a lot of colors in here that are similar to some of the other sets that I've previously swatched in this book. I think the pinks are like cooler pinks. They have more of the cooler feel to them, a little on the blue end of pink. But all in all, this set is interesting as well. The burnt siennas, I just love those colors, and I will be using those a lot. That tapestry yellow is very different as well. The antelope brown is also really different, and I can get some really neat black and white or sepia toned photos with those. And I love set C as well. So again, I can't leave set C out when I'm doing my mishmash color swatching. So I also included this last row of the letter C, set C set of colors, and mishmash those together to see what I can get for that last row. But this whole page, Kelvin came over and he and I were both going over it and reviewing it together to say what colors we liked and what colors we didn't like. We were picking out similar colors and just reviewing what colors made the new colors and what we could use those colors for. So that was fun to do with him. So I think this was a great way to start off this little painter's diary. Again, you can remove these pages and pull them out and use them in your own collections as like to refer back to if you're looking for a specific color. So I think that I could definitely recommend this painter's diary to anyone who is looking to swatch their sets that they have. This also gives you an idea when you go to purchase new colors. You can see the colors you already have, so you're not replicating the colors you already have in your stash, and you can supplement with new colors. Also, maybe colors that you're running out of, you can make a little note on the lines to say, hey, I'm running out, and go from there. So look forward to part 2 coming up, and you'll see what I do with these swatches next. Thanks for watching. God bless. See you next time. Bye-bye.